Okay, so today what we're going to have you all look at is you've seen this bucket up here. Have you seen this whole bucket of different texts? Have you noticed it? If you haven't seen it, you're like, what is that? That's a lot of paper.
Yes, ma'am.
These are called mentor texts. And what a mentor text is using an author's writing to help you become a better writer. Okay, so I'm going to show you some mentor texts and some ways that I've used them. And then as you get started in your writing today, if you know that you're creating a sad scene, or you know that you're creating a funny scene or a suspenseful scene or whatever, you can come see me and I will provide you with mentor text. What I'm going to do right now is show you how I use them. But am I queen of mentor text? Despite the fact that there's 800 of them up here. Who is the better writer, me or Kwame Alexander? Kwame Alexander, yeah. So instead of me being the queen of anything, what I do is I take text that these great writers have produced, and then I kind of play with that text in a different manner. Now, if I take, for example, this is an excerpt from his book. Is it up there? Kind of-ish. If I take this excerpt from his book, this is from Rebound, which is, did anyone read Crossover? Okay, so Rebound is actually the dad in the crossover. It's his story as a kid. So you need to get it if you haven't yet. And there is this one poem or part of the story that was called The Fourth. Does anyone have certain traditions in your family, whether it's the 4th of July or a different holiday, or just every Thursday you get together and watch a movie, or do you have something in your family or in your life that is a tradition? Okay, so what I did, he took the 4th and has in the backyard, there's family and disco music and dancing and burgers and barbecue and little cousins in diapers. Do you see the pattern that he used here? What word is he repeating? And then after that, he's putting something like an object or a noun that's there, correct? Okay, so then I did Christmas was my first one I tried. And I said, in my sister's house, there's family, because that's modeling. You see how in the backyard there's family. And then I went from there, and laughing and ham and potatoes and stacked presents and a lit tree and carols playing. And then over here I did plaza. So I took the same text and tried it with something else. And I said, in the hallways, there's students and teachers and lockers slamming and laughter and tears and high fives and dropped books. Do you see how I took what Kwame Alexander did and then tried something with it? Okay. Here's another one that happens to be Kwame Alexander. This is from his book Crossover. It's the very first page. It's a basketball book. But do you see, first of all, what do you notice about the way the words look? Tell your table, like, what did he do to the words?
Made them bigger and like bold. Crisscross.
Okay. So I'm hearing quite a few things. They look different, they're bolder, they're crisscrossing, they're going diagonally. But do you see how he used the look of the words to kind of play a little bit? Yeah. Different size fonts. Yes, exactly. So are you allowed to do that? Cool. So he did at the top of the key, I'm moving and grooving. I took Morgan, who loves a good temper tantrum. The girl can throw a temper tantrum like no other human I've seen. And I said, at the top of the stairs, she's screaming and crying. And then if you go back here, popping and rocking, dropping and flopping. She's getting ready to have a temper tantrum. Why you bumping? Why you locking? Why is she mad? Why is she crying so bad? I will tell you that with this specific excerpt, I've probably rewritten it in 5 or 6 different ways. Now, what I'm not going to do, whose work is this? It's Kwame Alexander's, right? So am I going to go publish my own book like this and publish all my poems where I practiced his style and basically kind of copied the elements that he uses? Am I going to do that as a writer?
No.
No, but once I start getting good at what he does, then I start to make it my own, and then I can kind of play in that style just a little bit more, can't I? Okay, so I'm going to show you just a couple more little things, and we're not going to go through the whole thing, all of them. So this is Wish, where, oh, this isn't the one I wanted, so I'm not going to do that. Here's The Raft by S.A. Bodine. That's that book I was telling you about with In the Middle of the Ocean and the Skittles and the author pilot. What does it look like? How she wrote this? What does it look like? This is from page 35. So it's right after the plane has crashed and the girl is like in the ocean trying to figure out what to do. Okay, what do you notice about this text? Okay, so they didn't fill the space. It looks like there's a picture somewhere. What else? Yeah. Okay, so you think the short sentences and stuff show the silence on it? Okay. Say again. A lot of S's. Okay. I hear stop the noise, stop the wet, stop the cold, stop the blowing, stop everything. Please stop. Or stop, please. Okay, so stop, is that a power word? Is that a positive or negatively connotative word? It's a negative word, right? Because if you want something to stop, usually it's not something good that's happening. Okay, so she repeated this word. Do you think repetition, was that on purpose? That's weird. Okay, is the whole thing really small like this? Like when you look at the text up here, is it as small? No. So when you look at that, this is an anxiety scene where the character thinks she's going to drown and die. And so if you're creating your own piece that has anxiety in it, what did she do? She has really, really small words, really short sentences, really short, what else? What are, each time this is indented, what's that? Lines, which would be a what? If it's indented, it's a paragraph, gold star, because this one is not a poetry book. It's not written in verse. Okay, so she's got repetition, short words, short paragraphs, short sentences. So if you're creating a piece where your character is anxious, how could you use this text? What would you put in there to show anxiety for your character? Could be exclamation points. What strategies did she use? Repetitive words, positive or negative words? Negative, stop, stop, stop. Okay, you could also make really short what? Sentences and paragraphs. Okay, because that's a writer's craft. That's not just something that worked because in this piece. Other ones I've seen, this one is from Inside Out and Back Again, page 55. They're leaving Vietnam when the war starts so that their family doesn't get killed. Okay, and she's bringing one bag is all she gets, and so she's saying what she's bringing. And then I had someone go, oh, well, I kind of want to write about slavery. And I'm like, well, how can we use something like this? And he was talking about changing the word choice to chains or no choice or something like that. And then instead of it being about all the stuff you get to bring, he transformed it into all the things that you don't get to bring, like no pack, only the pair of pants I'm wearing, no extra shorts. Like he took the idea of a different topic and used this format. This is Prisoner B, one of the best intros I've ever read. If I had known what the next 6 years of my life were going to be like, I would have eaten more. I wouldn't have complained about brushing my teeth or taking a bath or going to bed at 8 o'clock every night. I would have played more, laughed more. I would have hugged my parents and told them I loved them. Great book if you haven't read it. He interviewed a guy who survived 10 concentration camps during World War II. So I took that, is it up there? And I wrote, whoops, if I had known what the next school year was going to be like, I would have savored my summer a little more. I wouldn't have been so ready to get back to work or spent so much time making new learning experiences. I would have laughed more, played more. I wouldn't have complained that my kids weren't listening. I would have gone with the flow, but now it's too late. So I just took another topic of something that you kind of hope comes to an end and then it's starting somewhere else. Right? Does this count as writing?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Do you have to use mentor text? No, but I have every type of mentor text from graphic novels to the dog talking in Wish, who kind of sounds like he's like, I'm a dog and I love you too, to the crossover stuff, to The Fourth by Kwame Alexander and this stuff that I've shown you. I have sad. If you're trying to create tears, I got some Dog's Purpose, dog dying scenes that are real good. Okay, they're not really good. Or from When He Has Wings, which is an amazing book where he's trying to deal with the death of his sister when he survived. So if you are writing it, I have a mentor text for it, or we'll find one for you. Okay, so does this count as writing? Do you have to do this today? No. So here are your options today as writers. 1, you may continue adding to that one part list that you were working on, because now that we talked about adding movies and things like that, you can do that. Number 2, you can keep going on whatever it is you've been going on. That's great. Number 3, you may come see me for mentor text if you know a topic let me know if it's one of these and you just want to try something. I glue like this. I glue on the left and then I practice mine on the right. Does that make sense? Is this the right way to do it?
No.
Goodness, no. This is the right way. We all need help. Okay? Does that make sense-ish? Any questions about what you're doing today? You're going to be writing for approximately 20 minutes. Do you remember your stamina?
Yes.
How long do you need to write to be like 10 out of 10? More than what? At least a page, a little over a page. A 9 is around a page, right? So see if you can do that today in whatever style it looks like. Okay, it might be a big old mess. Say again. You'll be kind of just working with it. If you're just adding to it, I trust you. I'm not out to get you, I promise. Whatever. So this was an idea list that I did the other day. It's not an idea list. It's a book I'm thinking about. And so I just kind of webbed everything out. I'd count this as a page, no problem. So as you do your idea list, if you add 2 things to it, probably not a page. You add kind of ish. I mean, chances are you're not just going to do an idea list. You're probably going to do that for a little while and then go into your journal and write. And we're looking for overall. I know. Any questions? I even wrote questions. Sometimes we don't know. And I said, where is the party? Why are guests invited to this party? And I said, who are the guests? I'm just writing down thoughts I have. Okay, so that stuff that you're thinking about in your writing, just jot it down. That's the other thing I noticed. I think I told you this, but in my journals, I tend to use the right side for writing, and then on the left, I kind of ask the questions I have in my work, or I put the mentor text, or I do the other stuff. If I'm revising something, I do it over here, and I only write on the front side of the paper because I leave that side open for my thoughts. Julio? Okay, I'm going to be coming around to conference here in just a minute. Give me a minute to get situated, and then I'll hand out mentor text if that's what you want to use today, but just give me 1 minute, okay?